to my knowledge, I only have one ASA trophy.
Trophies were in the garbage can when I bought the building, and I pulled these out and saved them.
I don't even know whose race car trophies they are.
So he was driving a Porsche and he showed up driving through a field.
Yeah. That's how we met Mark Martin.
I'm gonna add some context to that.
I've been drunk there before.
Go for lunch and stay for supper, hammered.
This was All-Star Racing, Jerry Gunderman's shop. This one in particular is extra special because you had Mark Martin and Alan Kulwicki under the same roof. That's where, you know, the Miller car, Bobby Allison's car was prepped there. And then Alan had the other side of the building. And we're gonna see if we can get inside. This would be pretty cool. I've wanted to come to this place for a long time. So the way Mark described this to me is he raced for Gunderman. That was Gunderman's operation. It was his team, his crew, his car, where Alan on the other side of the building was pretty much just getting a place to work out of. I think he got some stuff, but he wasn't like fully, he wasn't the factory, like the house team, okay. I guess, per se.
Term, house team.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alan wanted to be where Mark was. So this is basically where Mark Martin rebuilt his career after he went to NASCAR and everything blew up in his face and he had to come back and he became an ASA champion again here.
I forgot about that.
This is what enabled him to go back to NASCAR with Jack Roush and
with some momentum.
Yeah. So that's it right there. Boom. Today. This is where it happened. You can see there's to be the 80s paneling decorating much of this.
Jimmy and I were always a team. Like I say, he would make them run and go fast, I would make them look good. And I remember the day we kind of met Mark Martin, we were pulling into Nashville, here comes a Porsche coming through the field. I mean, that thing was airborne and this and that, and he slides up to the truck and they headed right to us, so we stopped. He said, "Get me that Gunderman ride, get me that Gunderman ride," you know, and it's like, wow, it got all put together that way.
So he was driving a Porsche and he showed up driving through a field.
Yeah, that's how we met Mark Martin. They wanted to drive our cars. I say ours, but it was Gunderman's. We told Gunderman about it, and the next thing you know, we're gonna build cars for Mark Martin. He's getting cars, free cars from Dillon. So in 1985 is when Martin first started driving for us. We almost had the championship, but he tried just a little too hard and knocked a couple walls down too many times and finished second in the points because we had him covered. I mean, between my brother and Martin, oh man, and Gunderman, getting all the right stuff, motors, the right parts, and he wasn't scared to spend money.
The lift is still here.
So there's
I got a picture of Mark Martin's car on that lift.
yeah, it's a little dirty, but yeah, so a lift, half the lift there and half the lift is underneath there. So did after. Yeah, it still works. It's just we turn the everything off for it. But yeah, it's red and tan now.
That's awesome.
And then the other thing is here. I've tripped over this numerous amounts of times, but I had to cover it because it was a hazard.
Yeah.
And it's too expensive to remove, and plus we're car guys too. So like,
what if you need it?
Eventually, you know, it'd be nice to use it.
So this must be the mezzanine. Mark told me a story because he said this half of the building was his and the other half was Alan's. And he said there was a mezzanine he could go up and there was a little hole in the wall where he could look through and see.
Over here.
There's still a hole.
You know where I heard about it, but I don't know.
The other guy with us is John Jeffords. He was a volunteer on Alan's crew when he was racing in the late 70s before he'd ever even ventured out of the Milwaukee area. We were in town doing a hometown history tour video about Alan's early days, which included the Gunderman shop that he raced out of. And this visit was not planned. The guy here showing us around had no idea we were showing up. We'd never talked to him in my life before. And this visit really turned out to be something way cooler than we anticipated.
Yeah, that's this kind of what we're talking about now. I thought it was a little bit bigger. Honestly, I forgot about all that. But that way they could hear each other talk about the cars. But who knows if that was just for screwing around purposes or not.
The lift and the floor still works too. It's still there. That's funny. Like, you sent me one picture you found of that place, and the thing I said was, I wonder if the lift is still there, or like the holes. Well, The holes are still there because the lift is still on the floor.
You know, that was incredible to have a lift. I mean, that's the only time in my racing up to that point that I'd ever had a lift. And then, you know, I never had a lift in you know, my first years of NASCAR either.
Yeah.
And it's so great to be able to stand underneath the car and work on it. It's like amazing. Everybody needs a lift. My dad bought a lot of trucks from this guy, Jesse Kerr, down in Texas. And we were in Gunnerman, you know, we built that car, go to Daytona. And like Gunnerman said, man, it'd be great if we could have a sponsor. And I said, let me work on it. So I called my dad and said, you know anybody that might want to sponsor the car? And he gave me Jesse Kirk's phone number. And I called Jesse up and I said, hey, you know if you want to sponsor me for the Daytona 500. He said, how much? I said, $5,000. Where'd I send the check? And I never met Jesse until 2018. That was 1986. And I never met him until 2018. And he's one of the most special people. I so regret not being friends with him all through those years, and cherish every moment that I get to spend with him now because he is so much fun and such a great guy.
They actually sent me down here to help put a body on it because, you know, they're steel bodies versus those things are fiberglass. Because if we wrecked it, we had to be able to fix it in Wisconsin, not come all the way down here to put a fender on it. And I knew how to work on that kind of stuff. Whole new world to me, though. It was a 6-race plan. And our first race was Daytona 500. In fact, we had the track rented, and it was raining and miserable and everything. Car was in primer and all that kind of thing. The day the space shuttle was supposed to go up, and that's the space shuttle that blew up. We went home and came back when we could get the track again when the weather was nicer.
You have any kind of contacts down here that were like, hey, you know, you can do this and do that, or was it?
We did the car to the rule book. Jimmy would go walk down the garage area and look at all the Fords, of course. And Jimmy says, go down to the 28 car, which was Keely Yarborough. He said, look at the headlights in that car. We went down with chrome headlight doors. We came back like this. He says, go look at them headlight doors and take these off and make them look like that car. So I went down and you just don't walk up to a car and stare at it. You walk around like you're a tourist. And I come back, we took the headlight doors off. I went in the trailer, because you always carry Bondo and paint and primer, because back then, if you scuffed it up, you had to paint it back and make it pretty again for race day. Bondoed them up, got all the chrome, nice looking stuff off of it. It broke my heart, because I'm a chrome freak. Put them back on, spray canned them flat black. Went through inspection, and he says to Jimmy, he says, fix them headlight doors, he says. And Jimmy learned a big lesson. He says, well, the 28 cars, and Darby stopped him right there. He said, I don't care about that car. I care about this car. Go fix the headlight doors. So I took them back off, went back in the trailer, scuffed them up a little bit, reshot them with primer, black paint, screwed them right back on. Didn't hardly do nothing. But
You just made it look like you did?
yeah. And that was the point. Later on, we find out, you know, every you got to do something. They're going to find something wrong with your car, even if it's right. We went back out through inspection. Never said a word about the headlight doors. They were perfect. Jimmy had a little bit of a reputation. Of course, Jimmy blamed it all on me, you know, in front of everybody, which he did that in ASA too. But every time we got caught doing something, oh boy, did he yell at me. What did you do that for? Who told you to do that? It's like, you did. But I would say, well, I thought it was pretty cool. And then walk away because that ended the conversation.
Did you do the bodies for these cars with Robert G?
G hung the sheet metal, and I learned from him. Parts of it is Ford, and parts are handmade. And we brought it back. Raw metal. Then I did all the Bondo and in the final stuff. They still talk about that car because it was straight as it was a show car. There wasn't a wave in it.
It looks great. I mean, it's hard to hide that black. It looks
yeah.
like you buff it.
Well, what I always done painting, even though they're race cars, I paint them once, then I wet sand them, then I paint them again, and wet sand them and buff them. Paint jobs on this one and this one, but especially black. were this deep. I mean, it was a show car quality. And then we painted the inside red instead of gray like everybody else because I thought it looked cooler.
Would we be able to see the other side?
No, my dad takes over the other side, but I can call him and ask him.
That'd be great, because we'd really like to see the side that... Yeah.
His side looks cooler than my side, so yeah. If you want to see, he's got the tire wrap and everything.
When was this added on?
We don't know. This was here, because you can see this was the brick was from the outside, so I don't know when they added, if it was in the late 90s or early 90s or what. But you can actually tell, it's hard to get to everything here, but the racks actually will say...
Yeah, those are probably backspacing for wheels.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what that is.
Sure.
Those are too shallow to be tires.
There wasn't that much left over when we took it over, but the stories I kind of remember. So I may ask my dad to see if he can show you, because all the trophies are all from the office.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Because he threw them all away. He threw, like, Gunnerman threw, like, everything away, and my dad, like, was like, well, just take it. Who knows what they are? I don't even know whose race car trophies they are.
Maybe we can help you figure that out. What was the work environment like in, you know, like 85, 86 in that shop? Did you play music, or were you running around? Was it hectic, or were you methodical? Did you talk to other people a lot in the shop? Or was everybody so zoned in?
There was only three of us. There was Mark, Jim, and I.
Did you have conversations while you were working, or were you all dialed in?
We all knew what we wanted. And if, you know, Mark, I'm telling you, when we had to massage a body or something, and I had a pile of fiberglass on the ground, you know how fiberglass itches, he'd get right in there and lay in that fire. I said, Mark, what are you doing? You can't lay in that stuff. Yeah, we got to get it done, man. There wasn't nothing he wouldn't do. He'd jump right in there, and he would do it, and he knew how to do it. He wasn't just a race car driver.
See over there, we got a welder plug. A nice welding outlet there. Trying to match up some of this conduit. Looks like it got moved around because this door wasn't here. Yeah, and so you can see that outlet right there is that one, but that welding plug is not there in this particular picture. It must have been added later. I can't tell. Maybe those might be cabinets there. Could be these cabinets. Hard to say. These two pipes are there. And so far, this is the only picture we have of inside this shop at the moment. If we can find more, we will add them. Do you care if I record you explaining what was in here? Because we want to know what that...
Well, I mean, that's the only thing that I've been told, but yeah, I mean, I got to calm down a little bit. But, oh, you're doing it right now, huh?
Yeah, this is like, well, you got the first-hand knowledge. If somebody told you how this worked,
Well,
we don't know anything.
I mean,
Mark
I
said,
have pictures of that one. Yeah.
this is the only picture Mark has. This is what he sent me.
I have that.
You have more pictures than this?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It was put together, and then they brought it into that salon, where the salon is, and that's where they painted it.
Oh.
So
when this building was here, there was another littler building next to it. That was the body shop, wasn't it?
That's where I did the heavy body work and paint. Yeah.
Did Alan paint his cars in that same body shop?
No.
Where did he spray his at?
I don't know where he got painted.
Because his side of the shop was about the same size, but...
Both the shops were equal, this shop.
Yeah.
But he never used the paint, well, we call it the paint room over there, because there was no body work really to do because they're all fiberglass bodies. If you want to massage on it a little bit, you kept it inside this building on your side of the wall so nobody could see what you were doing.
that car that you had a picture of, I have it going in, you know, being loaded in the trailer, being worked on here.
Really?
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Just in case.
Oh, heck yeah, please.
You can see the bad days they have, or the oil stains in the wall.
Yeah. I didn't know Ted Musgrave drove out of here too. That's cool.
Yeah, I have pictures of the trailer with the Buicks, where they ran the Buicks like that.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Wow. Jerry Gunderman's G&G Trucking owned this building up until about 2013, and they were still racing out of it as of 2011-ish on the Google Street View until Rob here bought it, and now they run the Millweb 1 vinyl shop here. And what he's saying is when he bought it, he asked Gunderman if he could scan the pictures that he had in his personal albums. So that's where these came from. They're ones that Gunderman saved that Rob had gotten a hold of when he bought the building. Thank God he did that, because they are awesome pictures. Well, let's go over there. I want to see it.
All right.
This is awesome.
Jim Trado just texted, you have to find the spy hole.
Mark said it was up there.
Right here.
That was the spy hole?
This is spy hole right here. You'll see why on the other side.
When did Alan move into the other side of the building?
Probably right away, 85.
What was that like? I've heard some interesting stories. Did you ever look through the hole in the wall?
No, we never had the hole in the wall because Gunnerman had a key. If you wanted to get in there, I guess you could go in there, but we never did because there was no reason. Alan and Mark Martin were good, hard race car drivers. Alan was smart. My brother was smart. There was no point in trying. What are you going to see through a peak hole? You know, you're not going to see nothing. I mean, there was times I would make things for Alan because he didn't have nobody who could do it, like airboxes and stuff. I don't believe I did them. I don't think I did them on those cars. But when I started working for Gunnerman with Mark and all that, I may have because Bobby was part-time, you know. But when Mark came along, it was strictly Mark's car we worked on. I didn't go over there and build an airbox or ductwork for Alan because that's taboo. But we didn't need a pre-call. Besides, we were friends. I mean, there was no reason to do something like that. So.
Mark said he'd go up on the loft above the office and look through a hole up there sometimes.
Well, I wouldn't say a hole. Probably a crack in the sheet metal of the building you could see in there.
Huh.
But you could look in there and they probably could look at us. And like I said, what are you going to look at? Alan had a different way of driving. Mark had a different way of driving. And you're going to see the car at the racetrack.
Yeah.
What are you going to see through a little? I only remember a little sliver in the sheet metal that divided the two race shops. So we never drilled a hole or nothing because there was no point. Now, not that I know of, because I saw enough of Alan's cars throughout his career before I was dedicated, because I had to be, to Mark. So the deal, like I said, with Bobby, off and on, didn't matter. You know, I tried to help Alan because Alan's racing for championships. So that was before Mark Martin.
Yeah, they used to peak when they used to go to the bars and stuff like that. You turn some lights on. Don't want to see it here.
So this is the Alan side. It's living a much more laid back life than the Mark Martin side.
There, that was the peak hole right there. Would you like that closed?
Oh.
Yeah, you can close it if you want.
Alan didn't have a lift on this side.
No lifts on this side. There was 2 lifts on that one only.
I think he ran a couple bush races with Hardee's, but this is an ASA car. Yes, this car came from here.
Okay, then that ain't it.
My dad is the one who got him the WLTX sponsorship along with Merrill and me.
Where was that sticker you were talking about?
What?
The sticker in the cabinet?
Oh, that whole cabinet is
Oh, that thing.
that whole thing. This is stuff on the side that you see the Peterbilt truck on. This G&G trucking on it. We could pull it down.
Oh, that's okay. I believe you.
That was on the race car.
This truck sticker was actually on the race car?
Yeah, well, it was a duplicate, an extra one, probably. Sticker way up on top, sesame.
Ew. Yeah, they did the cars for, even when Bobby Allison would come up and race ASA races, they were built out of this place too.
Well, I've heard that, G&G actually would set up the race cars for Earnhardt when he would come in and do them for Milwaukee Mile.
That makes sense.
Slayer
They
Nationals.
would set up all the...
Because he had Miller on that car.
Yeah.
That was a Miller sponsored
I
car.
got pictures, a lot of pictures of Miller, sorry. But, there's some trophies that were left here and things like that they had from.
Where are the trophies at?
They're not together, but
I see
in
one
the
falling
boxes
apart
here.
up there. Oh, there's.
I mean, the guy threw them away when he left, And I didn't have a chance to put them together, but I think they said Firecracker. It's just
97, 1989.
Best dressed pit crew.
I don't know.
Who won that?
That's probably why they threw that one away. I don't know what this one was on top of, but
Oh, there's no placard on
Well,
it.
I don't know if it's.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
And then
yeah.
I can bring that other one down from up there.
There's nothing on that.
That might be the top of this one.
That
There's
is
a lot of them that they left here. He threw them away. That
Isn't
one
that
does say.
something?
That one does say something. I can go up there.
So the rumor of the spy hole in the mezzanine
There's
made
the spy hole.
that's where.
And then they used to sleep on that one, that mezzanine over there too, at night. That's why they had foam going across the top. We can go up there and look. I mean, it's got foam going across the some of the beams. It's really low down up there.
Okay.
So they always would put foam on there so they can crack their heads open on the high beams, you know, and stuff.
So,
This is another one.
so for the late nights, they were.
Nothing's attached.
That's funny.
Well, the guy took it all apart.
1985 Silver Creek champion, Kalamazoo Speedway. So that could have been Mark Martin.
Yeah.
85. Yeah.
I'm gonna take a picture of that.
Okay, Google that. Yeah. Oh, didn't you say Mark can't find his?
No, he doesn't have any trophies from this era. He didn't.
They're probably there left here.
I'm just gonna ask Mark if that's his.
To my knowledge, I only have one ASA trophy.
Okay, so yeah, Mark Martin, May 12th, 1985. This is his trophy, and it's in pieces.
Oh my God.
Maybe it can be put back together.
Mark Martin holds off Alan Kulwicki, Bob Seneker, Butch Miller, and Dick Trickle. There's a few names that we all remember, to win the third race of the 1985 ASA season.
This looks like the top of that one.
Yeah, I think so. Some had dates on them.
Oh, red, white, and blue. So is that Kakana?
1990.
Slingers.
That could be, I don't know, I think Bob Dotter drove after Mark Martin left. Does that sound right? Yeah, we could put this back together, no problem. So there should be 6.
So you're gonna, I mean, I can compact it so we can put it in a small box and just ship it to you.
Well, we can take it there. It's
take it there?
Yeah, I got a pickup truck, and we're going to see. We're going to see Mark on Friday, Thursday or
I
Friday.
mean, I have some cleaner here, but I have.
I think we should
lemon
bring it
pledge
to
and
him
stuff.
exactly the way it is.
You want to see it all?
Yeah, bring it in with the dust on it and
I
everything.
mean, I had a dig at the dumpster the day that I bought this place for that. So why don't we figure out every piece that you need for it, and I'd be happy to, do that. I just need.
Yeah, and then if you
I mean,
do
this is a huge thing. It used to be on top of it.
Yeah.
if you do actually find a photo,
Well, I don't have a photo of that, but I have other photos of Mark Martin and stuff that you might be interested in.
I wonder if Google would show. He probably got this,
They might show that somewhere. I know he's got tons of
award
pictures.
ceremony or.
So
Well,
we
I have
need,
some award ceremonies too. And this was in this building here.
and that's the hair
That's the
salon now.
That's the hair salon. The building wasn't built here. Yeah, where that back room is. They're just fixing it up, going into the trailer. Gosh, gosh. That's his body panels out in the snow.
Oh yeah, more views inside the shop.
I'm all lined up out there,
That's a great picture.
isn't it? I want to get that one post blown up.
There's the Peterbilt of Wisconsin decal. Oh, that is awesome. So they said that was their body shop, and now it's a hair
I see that
salon.
at a garage door, yeah.
Do you have any pictures of Kulwicki's car in here?
No, it was good. He didn't have anything in here of him.
He wasn't part of Gunderman's team. He was just kind of like,
wasn't part of it. It was like separate sides and this and that.
Yeah.
All he did was help him on the end. It was that movie to give him his truck. They gave him his pickup truck.
oh, he did have a borrowed pickup truck. That must have
That
been.
was from Gunderman.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna add some context to that.
I've been drunk there before.
Did you ever drive a race car there?
No, that was after me. Jerry met us there one day for lunch. Jerry Gunderman and Jeffrey and Jimmy and me, a couple other guys. We never made it back. We were still at the tavern at 5 p.m. So eventually, about 6 o'clock, we went back and closed up the shop.
In the pictures of that album, there was a picture of a Ted Musgrave car parked in front of a bar that was near the race shop. And Mark looked at that picture and he left. He's like, oh yeah, I've been drunk there before.
Oh gosh, yeah.
What do you have any stories about that place?
Oh, it was awesome. They had the greatest food, greatest burgers, and every now and then I got to think of his name. A football player would come in there. There was two brothers, Matusik, John Matusik. I forget who he played for. It wasn't the Packers or somebody else. But he lived in Franklin or somewhere. He'd come in there, and he'd walk through the door. You want to talk about huge. And the first thing out of his mouth, oh, that's arm wrestle. Yeah, right. I had arms this big. Golly. The Franklin Inn is what it was called across from the shop. You could walk there. And I think we did walk back sometimes. We drove there and walked back. We know I get in trouble. But go for lunch and stay for supper hammered.
This box, yeah, these trophies were in the garbage can when I bought the building, and I pulled these out and saved them, and hopefully they can be put back together again and put in the museum where they wrongfully belong. So, all good.
So what's your name?
Rob Christensen.
Anything else you'd like to say to Mark Martin?
Awesome driver. I know that.
Well, we're glad you saved this trophy from the garbage can. I can't wait to see what he says about it when we give it to him.
There's a lot of them that were here, so we don't know exactly what was everything. Everything is his.
Is there a picture of him
that's what
winning this?
I probably.
We got to be able to find one.
Yeah.
It has to exist.
I'd be happy to give it to the rightful owner.
Yeah, what are we gonna do with it? We're waiting for this exact moment, so I don't know what you're talking about. What are we saving this for? He's
Exactly.
the guy. Yeah.
There's the
Who would have thought? Some random people walking in. You're just like,
You're gonna
oh,
walk away with
what do these people want? I'm busy.
This is how.
Well, when he called me, and I'm like, I guess, I'll come down.
This is why you rummage through garbage, I guess.
This is
right?
why I kept on my why. I knew something was going to come back someday and say, hey, I used to work out of here, and it's getting older. People don't know the generation anymore. If I say something about Mark Martin or Earnhardt or anything, they don't even know. Kids don't know no more. They're just not into it as much as they were. I grew up with this stuff.
We're trying to fix that. That's what these videos are
I
for.
grew up with this stuff. Racing every Saturday and Sunday, this sport,
I wish Mark would have let Alan win. Finish second. I really would have preferred.
Well, you can ask him.
Yeah, but all in all, Mark's a worthy victor. We can't hold it against him. That was a very competitive year of racing.
Wait, you can record that? What's that hat from?
Hey, this is from Jerry Gunderman.
Gave you that hat?
And he gave it to me. He said that it came from you, Mark Martin. So thank you.
Got a free hat.
That was a long time ago.
You bought the building and it came with a hat. You bought the hat, it came with a building. Something.
Yeah. This wasn't here. This was over there.
This workbench thing?
That bench wasn't there. It was over there. The top was there, but the bench wasn't.
Oh, okay.
And then that all was gone. As you saw, they put it in later. We started renting this from him, and then he just approached us and said, do you want to buy the whole thing? And I said, yeah. I know the history of it. Of course I do. So,
You're living the dream. I'd love to have a old race shop that has a history like this.
history like this
someday.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to put the pictures, of the actual trophies together and put them on something and make it real historical. But I thought about that, but and the pictures of that trailer. That would be an awesome picture with the trailers.
If you go to Google Maps, if you go to the way back on Google Maps,
Yeah, you can see the trailers.
all the trailers.
Really?
You can still see them sitting there, yeah.
When you go into the maps, you just select what year you look at, and then just basically just scroll back to
80s.
Well, no, not 80s. I'm saying Google Maps shows the trailers here in 2004, 2003, 2002.
Yeah, but it shows the big trailers.
Like the Street View stuff?
Yeah, Street View. It'll show the All-Star trailers and a bunch of other trailers back then when I went through it. So
Wow.
it's pretty sweet.
I'm gonna have to do that.
Yeah, Google has that where you can go back so many
I
years.
didn't know you could do that.
Yeah.
Mark Martin to the front desk, please.
Yeah, that was sitting over there on the other side.
Yeah, we'll take that and give it to him for the museum too. It's like authentic intercom from Jerry Gunderman's building.
Oh my God! You have to put some sound through that. think of the. So it's probably your standard speaker that vibrates, right? So that speaker vibrated with the messages.
It looks like a bell.
It says bell system at the bottom.
Well, it's not a speaker for intercom.
I don't know.
Pop that off.
I don't know what this is.
Why would you want a bell?
Looks
Unless It's to ring somebody, like a doorbell.
Maybe.
Open the garage door. Oh, you're right.
So we were just going to surprise Mark with the trophy. He came up and asked about it before we could turn the camera on. So yes, we did get it from him, and we have it, and it's all of his pieces in the back of the truck.
Well, I apologize for spoiling the surprise, but I was so excited. To my knowledge, I only have one ASA trophy, and that will double my collection in getting that, and I would be so excited to have it. That's amazing.
We didn't even clean it because we figured you might have fun cleaning it off and putting
Like
it back
putting
together.
the pieces back together.
Absolutely.
It's a big trophy.
Yeah,
It's really.
That was a big win. I mean, I remember that race. That particular race, we had that Peterbilt throttle cable on it with the pan underneath the front, and I could adjust the angle of the pan to increase or decrease the front downforce in the car.
Wow.
And as the race went on, I decreased it all the way. Yeah, I mean, and just that place is round and hard on right rear tires, and so I remember all about it. I could tell you the springs in the car too.
Wow, that's awesome.
1985.
So we come up with a pan that come from here, but we rolled it. When the tires were new and it was full of gas, we had a blade that was up in their head, and we had a Peterbilt throttle thing that you can, on a big truck, you can set the throttle. You go to a truck stop, keep it idle up a little bit. When the car started mishandling, Martin could screw on that handle that we had hid and bring the blade down. That would kill the nose because you want the equal pressure, I guess you would call it. And nobody ever caught us. But people would look under there, they could see that panel. All made out of aluminum, lightweight stuff. He never caught the blade. Ed Howell it was mostly. He'd come to our car and look underneath it. Well, Ed, what are you looking at? Nothing. So we went over by his car. We had that panel. So, but certain tracks you didn't want that panel. The bigger tracks you wanted it. And so we caught on to what he was doing. Every time we did something, the next week he had it on his car. So one time we went to the racetrack with it, and we only had like a couple rivets in there. And he come walking over, and you could look through the wheel open and see if it was in there or not. You didn't have to get on your knees or nothing. And as soon as he walked away, we took it off. And it had a blade on it, a little blade only this big, on a hinge. And when you twisted that knob, you brought the blade either flush with that panel, or it brought it down so the wind would hit it. They never caught the blade, but they seen the big panel. And then all of a sudden, a bunch of top guys would come with it. And Ed Owl finally come and he said, I'm getting too old for this crap. I'm not going to go underneath your car. Next week, are you going? He would drill his off as soon as we drilled ours off.
Yeah.
Are you going to have the panel on or off? I said, we're not coming with it. It's all right. And we didn't. We didn't lie to him. It was hilarious. For a while, it was fun, Got to have fun. One time, instead of putting the floorboards on top of the frame like typical, we put it on the bottom of the floorboard. No belly pans. Well, I never said in the rule book that the floorboard had to be on top of the frame. So we put ours on the bottom to act as a belly pan. So, smooth, like a road course GT car. But then we had to box the headers in, and that brings the headers into the engine driver compartment, which made it a little uncomfortable for Mark sometimes because they were hot. But once he got going, he didn't care. He wanted to win. So we tried stuff that, I don't know where him and Jimmy come up with this crap because I would never thought of it. But I could do it, between the three of us. We just did it.
I'm intrigued by the Mark Martin flying through a field in a Porsche. That's not.
Oh, I tell you.
Whenever you get stories of Mark, they don't. What was he like back then? That's pretty rowdy.
He was wild, man. Give me that ride. I'll do anything for you. Give me that ride. Banjo Matthews. Not Banjo Matthews. Banjo, I don't remember.
Graham.
He was in the passenger seat. I don't think they had belts on because there's. Oh yeah, I think it was a silver Porsche. Not one of them ugly looking Porsches too.
Was it like the 928 or
I
944?
don't remember what it was. It wasn't a 911. They're cool ones. ASA came to us. They were going to do a body change in 86. And they said, well, since you guys, I'll say it like this, got the biggest imagination, why don't you design the 86 Ford Thunderbird for us? We said, okay. And we did. We sent it down to Alabama somewhere. And I went with it because I didn't get it all done. And we designed a body with everything we figured was the competitive advantage. So I wouldn't have to cut it up and make it better later.
Yeah.
So, but Mark would be right with you. He'd be right by your side. What can I hold this for you? Can I do this for you? What do you want me to do? I mean, Mark was just down to earth, have at it guy.
Did he have a particular talent for one a facet or area of a car where you're like, you're the best at that, you should do that because you'll do better than we would?
I think him and Jimmy were on the same page as far as suspension. Motor's a motor. You know, you're going to buy them, and then there's nothing you can do to them because you're going to get a prototype or Wagner or somebody's. But even if we got a Dillon chassis, those two guys would be underneath that thing with a Zizwheel or something, cutting it up and changing something. Even in the Bobby days, Bobby would come up and say, I got an idea. Cut the car up and do what he wanted because, you know, we'll see. Bobby is smart, just like Mark. If it didn't work, we put it back the way it was. But if you, what my saying is, if you don't know, you don't go. So you try to do everything you can for the advantage. And Mark was really, and Jimmy was good on the suspension part of things, knew how it worked, what it should do and shouldn't do. So I think if there was a specialty that I could see out of the corner of my eye with Mark, it would be suspension. But he was good aero-wise too, but Jimmy was good aero-wise. Still is. We went to the wind tunnel with Bobby and I learned a lot.
With the ASA car?
Yeah.
Wow, you took an ASA car to the wind tunnel. Was that uncommon back then?
Yeah. And we were told when you got in there, you don't go nowhere. You stay right here. Well, we about got thrown out because Jim and I don't know what that phrase meant. Wasn't in our dictionary. They caught us looking under a car. I don't remember what the car was, but old Bobby chewed our ass.
Was it the GM wind tunnel?
Yeah. In Michigan.
With the big spruce propeller thing.
Big wooden propeller. Walked right up to it, all that stuff. It was priceless.
The box is like that big, and then there's another box with all the poles in it, because I think when you put it all together, it's like this tall, and it was in pieces. The guy said whenever Gunderman was moving out, he threw a few trophies in the dumpster.
Yeah.
And he's like, somebody might want these, so he picked the pieces out of the dumpster and then kept them. And that was like 10, 12 years ago. And he's like, honestly, I kept them because I figured somebody would show up someday looking for them. And here you are. So you can take it and get it to him. I just want him to know that I saved them for him.
That's incredible, man. You don't know how much it means to me. Arlene told me we moved 7 times in the first 5 years we were married, and about the third move, I didn't have a place to put all those trophies. They were all ASA and short track trophies. Put them all in the dumpster, everything. And she said, "You're going to regret that."
Oh my
And
God.
she was right. I desperately regret it because that was the foundation that my career was built on. And I'm more proud of those accomplishments, especially since I was doing all the chassis setups, hanging the bodies myself, and doing practically all the tires, at the time. So my hands were all over those cars. Those wins mean more to me. My NASCAR wins are a testament to the people who put their hands on my cars. And, that just says a lot. it says a lot for the NASCAR stuff. Just have an opportunity to drive and work with so many great people. Those ASA cars and those wins had my fingerprints on them. They're most special to me.
We walked in there totally cold. Didn't call these people or nothing. Just walked in and said, "Hey, this used to be a race shop. We'd like to, check it out." They were like, and at first realized that we weren't crazy. And the guy called his dad, who was the owner of the building, who had cars stored in the half of the building that Alan used. And he came over, and that's when we found the trophies.
Well, I tell you what, I know you guys know it, and I know I've said it before, but what you guys are doing is gold. I mean, gold. Nobody is doing what you guys are doing, and it's so important and amazing because, there'll be a record of it. And if you hadn't done all these videos that you guys have done, a lot of this stuff would just be totally forgotten.
We really have you to thank for a lot of this.
Yeah, you started the snowball when we went to your museum in Batesville, and we're like, hey, we can go look at that shop real quick, and that birthed the whole hometown history tour concept, which we've done with other people now. And
You have a crowd of people waiting to talk to you.
they all got their markers out. We're about to give Mark his 1985 ASA trophy.
We're super excited to see his reaction to it.
Yeah, that's going to mean more to him than most of those NASCAR trophies.
For real.
We got all the gold,
Yeah.
I think we counted them. It's missing a couple, but you could rob some that go on the bottom side and put them on the top, and you wouldn't know that it's missing.
I'm sure that a trophy shop could make one of those.
I'm sure there's somebody out there that can refurbish it. Kulwicki finished second.
And that's funny because this was in Kulwicki's side of the building.
Yeah, that is funny.
Didn't we have the phone stand thing or the intercom?
Yeah, we do have another piece.
I think we have the intercom or a bell system from Mark's side.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like a bell for employees or something.
It might be him behind the wheel. Again, this is the quickest car done. Third in the overall right order behind the prototype.
Some assembly required.
Oh yeah, I can do that together. That would be fun. Sweet.
I don't know what that piece is from. It looks like it's the same as that one, so it must be to one of the other ones we have.
Yeah.
But these are like the little trim pieces that came off there.
Right. That's awesome.
Or actually, that car, this might be on the thing center on the bottom.
I mean, maybe we...
Yeah, that's what that is.
I mean, it is.
Yeah.
Oh, I can make all that work.
They were watching that car.
Polish that up.
Just didn't sound right. They were
Bring me my pride and joy.
happened with that engine that would not be good for the racetrack.
I wish we could have had it a little bit more complete. All the extra poles are in here because it's like 3-tiered.
Yeah.
And they get we figured out the longest ones on the bottom, medium in the middle, and the shortest ones are on top.
I bet you we can look up and on the internet and find some photos of the me with the trophy.
Yeah.
Because I know I've seen photos from that race on the Miller crew, the Gunderman crew.
Maybe the racetrack has like an archive.
I don't remember for sure, but it might have been our first ASA win.
Really?
With Gunderman. Yeah, I'm not sure. May have been.
Oh, we have one more artifact from the building. We'll go grab it.
You want me to follow you or no?
No, you can stay
Okay.
here.
Speaking of this finish right here, I just saw Butch Miller. He
Really?
finished 4th.
That's the guy that came up when we were walking to the car, right?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Oh, he was epic too. He
That's
won a lot of
insane.
races. Butch did.
That's so
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Car
It
74.
was like, this is the same list with Bobby Allison on it.
Oh yeah, Bobby. We had Gunderman had a car there for Bobby. Yeah.
Really?
There's Bobby Daughter.
What the heck? And there's Dick Trickle.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Junior Hanley.
Oh my
He must have had a problem.
We went to Slinger too. I don't know if he told you that.
Oh, what did you think of that?
It was so cool.
I don't know exactly what this is, but you said it was on the wall on your side of the shop.
I think it's a bell system.
Oh yeah, yeah. Because we kept that door locked to keep people from just coming in. So we had to put a doorbell up. That's right.
We figured you might want this. You could use it as like a display artifact or something as a piece of the shop.
This is cool. You know, when we were walking out, Butch Miller.
That was him?
That was Butch.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Isn't that cool?
That's what I said.
That's crazy.
Wow.
Maybe we should get a cameo of him tomorrow if you can find him
He's
tomorrow.
working on those TA2 cars, Trans Am cars. He said he was helping Mike coach. Yeah, we need to track him down and get him cool.
Remember this?
That'd be so
Remember you
cool.
not winning that a long time ago?
He remembers beating me a lot. He ran good. Get a photo to see exactly how it looked. And in my spare time, I'm gonna put that together.
Yeah, man.
Where are you gonna put this one when you finish it?
Probably in my shop. You know, I don't know for sure when I get my new shop, the shop I have now.
Yeah.
I would just leave it there. Maybe sit it on the toolbox or something there. As far as I know, I've only got one Redbud 400 trophy. That's as far as I know. That's the only other ASA trophy that I have.
Wow.
So this will double my collection.
I think it's even cooler because like you put that together with like your own hands. Like you can set up your own car and you know it's like more meaningful, I guess.
I remember a lot about that race. You know, I'd never been there, and it was the only ASA race that had it. You know, they had one that year, and they never went back.
That's awesome.
So, I gotta tell you this story about Slinger. So, you know, I was, when I was with Gunderman, I think it was, there was a guy that raced, he didn't have much. You know what I'm saying? He didn't have much money at all. His nickname was, everybody called him Greasy Keith. Just, you know, but he had an old Dillon car. And he paid me that $100 I charged to do setups, to come to his shop and set his car up. I set it all up, did the bump steer and everything, got him right. And back then, you know, 1180 would be quick time, something like that, 1170, 1180. He ran 1190, so Greasy Keith with his old junky Dillon car. It was so cool. Yeah, he was in heaven.
Was that a Mark II that was older when you did that?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was just really cool. People up there will know who I'm talking about. You know, I think he raced there, you know, regularly, weekly or something. You know, he didn't run all the big shows, but yeah, I did the setup on his car and he broke out of the 12-second bracket into the 11s.
People like, what happened to Greasy Keith? Like, what did he just change something overnight?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. That's funny.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, and he comes at his car.
That's good.
He had these, and did Gunderman do these cars too?
No, I don't believe that's a Gunderman car. I don't know where this is. I don't know if that. I did a race out at Portland. I did a race at Portland, and I did the LA Grand Prix. And I believe they were both painted like that. This could be. I don't believe this is a Gunderman car. That could be a Gunderman car, but I don't.
No, that's, wow. I haven't seen that before.
That'd have been in the 90s.
I've never seen that.
Huh.
What is that?
I don't know. It was just in this guy's. It came from Gunderman's album, so there's another one in here that I thought was particularly.
Okay, wait a minute. Jerry did do a car for me for the Minnesota State Fair in about that year model.
Is
So
that
that could have been the Minnesota State Fair car.
is that what this track is?
That's not the Minnesota Fair track. I don't recognize.
Is that even you in that car, or is it something like a look-alike?
Well, it has my name on the car, so it's a Gunderman car. It has 7 AK. You know, that's a Gunderman car. I don't know where we're racing at. But he fixed me a car. It's around 95, 90, you know, round there, somewhere in there.
Huh.
So it's a one-off. I'm running full-time Cup, and I did, you know, some one-off late model races.
I know Dad told you about flying through that hole in the shop up there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he heard. I don't know if he told you, but he heard that Alan, like years later, that Alan supposedly did the same thing to him. Yeah.
That's funny because the guy that we were with, when I told him that story, he's like, yeah, I heard that story, but in the version I heard, it was Alan looking through the hole.
Yeah.
So they were probably
must have
both doing it.
Yeah.
We couldn't find the hole though, because they put up all that metal paneling that like don't think that was there.
Yeah.
We were looking all over the place.
Yeah.
Couldn't find it. Man,
Yeah.
it would have been so cool to find that one.
Yeah, absolutely. Dad said he did that several times.
That's so cool. That's so funny. I'd like to know like Alan's reaction if he got caught. You know, like. If
Oh
he
yeah,
got
or like kind of the movie thing where you both look at the same time.
Yeah.
I see an eyeball. Yeah. We're still working on the book, you know. It's just taking a lot longer than we thought. So, but we're probably about halfway through it. So, but it's coming for sure.
Well, it's got a bunch of pictures for you. Do you have room to airdrop like 100 pictures?
Yeah. I mean,
Yes, I forgot about
I'm all about
Yeah.
sending, you know, y'all, if anybody wants to send me photos, you know, you can email me, Matthew@markmartinarchive.com, or, you know, just DM them to me on Instagram. So, yeah.